Good morning and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. I hope you guys are well and I hope you fine folk are doing all right, actually. It's all good here. It's Monday morning and I've got to go to work today. So, yeah, not in the greatest of spirits, if I'm honest. But I do have to go to work today and I do love my job, but not as much as I enjoy talking about perfume. So today we're going to be talking about some more perfume, as you would expect, coming into Questioning Sense. We're going to be talking about 3 new ones from Alexandria. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole debate about clones. They're inspirations, they're clones, they're whatever you want to call them, but they are very much a part of everyday life. And of course, the perfume industry is no exception. So we have 3 today to look at. I think they're new ones. I had a message from my pal that works at Alexandria, and he said, would you like to review 3 perfumes? And I said, of course I would. And he's also given us a discount code for you. Now, I get nothing for that apart from the perfume. So he sent me 3 30 mils, and that's what we're going to have a look at today. I do like these boxes, by the way. I think these are really super smart. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at 3. It'll just be a quick overview of each of them, a little about the perfume, what I think of them, and just generally, you know, whether they're going to be good for you or who they're good for. I didn't get to choose these, by the way. Now, my friend at Alexandria UK knows me quite well, so he's done a really rather good job of picking 3 fragrances that he knew I would get on with. And obviously, I get the feeling that I've been read like a book. Okay, so as I say, 3 perfumes, new to me. I've had them about, I don't know, maybe 10 days or so. So I've given them all 3 a really good wearing. Now, this is the thing. I like all 3. If he'd sent me 3 and I only like 2, we would be talking about 2 perfumes today. All right, so we're going to go through all 3 of them. And we will start with this one, which is Alexander the Great. Now, what a rather bold title for a perfume that is. This is an inspiration of a classic perfume that I adore, but don't own because it's an expensive one and I haven't actually got round to spending that kind of money on a perfume in a long time. It is, of course, inspired by Xerjoff's Alex II, a wonderful perfume. And I must say, straight off the bat, they've absolutely nailed this one. It's ridiculously close to the original in every facet. The only thing I'd say that the original has over this one is obviously a better bottle, and it probably doesn't have quite the massive projection that the original does. However, the longevity on this is absurd. It goes on forever and ever and ever, and it's a very classy affair. It's a perfume that I really enjoy. If you've never tried the original, you may want to start with this one because it's a fraction of the cost. The original for 100 ml costs an absolute fortune, and this one obviously doesn't. So with Alexander the Great, you have lavender, you have rosewood, you have sandalwood, you have oud, you have a little bit of vanilla, you have some cinnamon in here, you have some amber, lots of musks, a little bit of fruitiness, and some cedar and more sandalwood on the base. When you spray it though, it's just, I mean, look at that. There's bottles are perfect, the sprayers are excellent. I love the little wooden caps as well. These are really good looking perfumes. It's so opulent, and I know a lot of people kind of criticise reviewers for using the word opulent. What does it mean? But it does. It really does smell opulent. It's a rich, it's a powerful, it's a deep fragrance. The lavender just takes a little bit of the edge off the potency of everything. It makes it all kind of a little bit more refined. Very, very smart. If you don't like oud, you will probably get on with this one okay. And if you do like oud, you may find that the oud's not quite enough for you. But exactly like the original, the oud kind of underpins everything else. So you have this very slick and very sophisticated perfume. It smells of class. And when I say opulent, it's exactly what you would imagine royalty to smell like, or a chic to smell like. You know, it's just that kind of perfume. Absolutely glorious. I wore this to work. This is the first one I chose to wear, actually, because I love the original so much. And I was ultimately blown away by just how accurate it is in terms of smell. I think it could be argued that this is probably a little bit more wearable than the original, purely because the original don't half kick out a little too much, so you have to go very light with a sprayer. This one does have projection and it does punch out, but it doesn't drown everybody around you. But saying that, it really is a very strong perfume. So don't, be a little light on the trigger with it. Longevity is absurd. It goes on forever and ever and ever. And as I say, I wore this to work. I came home and it was still really, really noticeable. My wife was like, "Oh, blimey, you smell nice," when I walked in from work, which never really happens unless I'm wearing sort of one of the autos or possibly Beach Up Man. There's very few fragrances that I wear that are so noticeable when I come back from work. It smells like I've just gone to work kind of thing. So performance-wise, this is absolutely awesome. It's just, I don't know, it's such a good perfume, and I really, really, really do want the original. But thanks to this little 30ml arriving, I can put that on the back burner and get back to the other list of other hundreds of perfumes that I want, because to buy it, Alex 2, it is going to be an expensive perfume. So thankfully, and thanks to Alexandria, there's no need for me to rush out and sell the family silver to buy a bottle of Alex 2. This is fabulous, really, really good impression, and in all seriousness, it's absolutely excellent. I highly, highly recommend that you try this one. And as I say, you can get it in 30ml or 50ml. If you're blind buying, then 30ml is always going to be a better option. If you know the perfume well, grab the 50ml and absolutely enjoy it. Okay, so on to the next one. Next up, we have this one, which is called Lady Diana Exclusive. Now, this is interesting because this is a Parfums de Marly, or inspired by a Parfums de Marly perfume, which is a Delina Excelsus, I think it's called. I've only tried Delina, so I've not tried this one, but I really, really like this one. And this is why I know that the guys at Alexandria know me well, because this is a sweet rosy perfume with some oud and some citruses and some florals, and it's an absolute banger. It's just so me. If you like a sweet rosy perfume, you're really going to enjoy this one. And when I say it's sweet, I'm not joking. There's almost a hint of BR540 about the opening. It's not a clone of BR540. It doesn't go that way. It's just that pitch of sweetness when it hits your skin. It's really, really rather lovely. You have some rose, you have some bergamot, you have some pear, tiny bit of incense floating around here to give it a little bit of depth. You have some amber in the base and you have some oud. The oud is very polite. It's not offensive. There's nothing skanky about it. It's just a really sweet, rosy perfume. So you've got to like rose to be vaguely interested in this one, and it is awesome. It's just one of those really uplifting, sweet perfumes. And if anything out there, I haven't smelt the original, but what this does remind me of is like a cleaner version of Maison Francis Coeur de Jean's oud satin mood, not oud silk mood, oud satin mood. So it's got that sweet, airy vibe to it with some real depth. It also, again, like the other one, has a biblical performance. This one just lasts. In fact, it maybe even lasts a little longer than the other one. It's very airy though, and it does get you noticed. So you're gonna, if you're, in the mood for being noticed at a party and you want a sweet rosy perfume, this is perfect for that. Absolutely awesome stuff. Really, really long lasting, but there's some depth to it as well. It's not all just sweet, airy rose. There's the base, that ambery vanilla-like base, gives it sort of kind of anchors it a bit to your skin. So it's an interesting one. It does lean a little feminine. It's one that my wife enjoys and I enjoy too. But I think a guy can rock this no problem at all. It's one that I've worn it to work. So, I work in quite a butch sort of environment, and it felt perfect at work. It was well received by my colleagues and customers alike. So again, a decent one here. You've got to like rose though. The combination of rose and pear just makes it quite sweet. So if you like a sweet, feminine, leaning unisex perfume, this would be well worth exploring. But again, and I can't say this enough, you do have to like rose because it is very rosy. But really good perfume. Very impressed with this one. So, and then on to the final one. Okay, last but certainly not least, we have this one, which is called Arrakis. Now, I was absolutely surprised when I worked out what this one was inspired by. And then I thought to myself, why would a company bring out an interpretation of a perfume that came out in '97 that is actually on the market today for quite an affordable amount of money? It's not an overly expensive perfume. We're talking about Dune Home from Dior. Now, this is a perfume I used to love. I have had probably 2 bottles of this, and then for some reason I just kind of forgot all about it, and I never went back to it, and I don't know why. It's been around for such a long time though. And then I was kind of thinking about this. This is the one, of the 3, this is the one that threw me the most. And it was like, Why would they do this? And then I wore it and I realised why. I haven't smelt the original in a long, long time. As I say, I think it was 2 bottles of it I got through. My sister was obsessed with it and she introduced me to it. Obviously, my sister has a connection to Dior. So I kind of really loved this in the beginning. And then maybe I got bored of it, or I just kind of forgot about it and moved on to other things. And this is such an awesome fragrance. It's superb, but the question still remains, why would they bring out their interpretation of such an old perfume that's still available today? Then when I wore it and I realised why, I researched it, and apparently the Dune Home of today is nothing like the Dune Home of yesteryear when it came out in '97, which is the version that I love. And then I thought to myself, maybe that's why I've not gone near it. Maybe because I've read that it's been reformulated or it's a shadow of its former self. I don't want to spoil my memories. And this one has brought all those memories back. Now, despite the fact this is an elderly old chap of a perfume, it still to me smells very, very contemporary. It's one that I absolutely adore. I'm actually wearing this one today, and I've worn this for the school run. For the school, who is this school run? I've worn this one for the school run, and it just, oh, it's lovely. It just smells absolutely perfect. It's one of these fragrances that can be worn all year round. I think it worked well in really warm weather, and I remember wearing the original, I can't speak today, sorry. I remember wearing the original in warm weather and it feeling really lovely and very Mediterranean and very sophisticated. And this one does exactly the same. It's worked incredibly well on a very chilly autumnal morning, I can tell you that. So what does it smell like? Well, you've got lots of greenery in this. You've got fig leaf, you've got fig wood, you've got a little tiny bit of rose. It's not a rosy perfume though. You have some sage, you have cassis, you have basil, and then you have this sandalwood tonka vanilla type dry down, which is really, really lovely. There's a little bit of cedar comes in here as well and gives this sort of overall kind of sweet woody base, which to me makes it feel like a very sophisticated perfume. It's a polite one to wear too. You really do notice it, but it doesn't scream, it doesn't screech. It's not vulgar in that respect. It's not, look at me! You know, this is the perfect daily scent. This is somebody's signature scent waiting to happen here. And it's just, I feel a kind of mixed sort of minds really. The perfume that I love so much has now been bettered by a house that makes inspirations. I find that quite amusing. And I find it a little sad really, because, you know, I have to go to a house that makes inspirations to get the perfume that I used to love. And I absolutely love this one now. So this is really, really good. It's my favourite of the 3, which surprised me, especially when I kind of looked at what all 3 of them were, you know, and how they were going to wear. And I love this one so much. It's beautiful. As I say, it's not a vulgar perfume. It doesn't scream out. It's a sophisticated and I think really modern perfume, despite its age. I think it really, really does belong in you know, the Fragcom at the moment. So I'm really, really happy to have this one. This is going to be one that I probably wear the most out of the 3, which again I found quite surprising, but I can't get enough of it. That, I don't know, that sort of sweet greenness that just floats around you, it's really, really lovely. It gets me through a day at work, no problem at all. It's got a good 7 or 8 hours longevity, and it is quite noticeable, but it doesn't push out too far. If people come in close to you, if you're working at a desk and someone comes over to you, they'll smell you and think, oh, you smell nice, you smell interesting. And because it is just that little bit different, it's going to be one that I think makes you stand out, you know, in the worlds of sauvages and thrusters wearing screechy, sweet perfumes. This one brings a little bit of class to your day, so it's very, very highly recommended. So there you have it. You have 3 from Alexandria fragrances that I highly recommended. If you go to Alexandria UK and you use the code MAT1, you will receive a hefty 10% discount. Now, I think the discount code is going to be up for 2 or 3 weeks from the moment this video hits your screens. So there you have it. As I said earlier, I got the perfumes for Nout, but I'm not being paid for the video and I don't get any kickback or anything like that. It's just a nice way of putting some discount out for you guys. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I highly recommend all 3 of these. Well worth exploring. And as always, thank you very much for your time. It's incredibly appreciated that you choose to spend some time with me and Rich. Although you see me and not Rich, he is incredibly instrumental in putting these videos out. He does all the hard stuff. I just get to waffle. So anyway, I'm really, really babbling for some reason. I think my coffee this morning was a little too strong. So hope you like the video. Any questions about it, hit me up here or hit me up on Instagram, which is easier to get hold of me. If you DM me on Instagram, I'll respond to it if I'm awake pretty much straight away. So any questions, hit us up and we shall see you soon on the next video. Many thanks, cheers, and bye.